Westerado Double Barreled is a Wild West-inspired top-down action game with a pleasant mix of role-playing, light puzzle solving, and a lot of... But what really makes Westerado outshine its basic-looking appearance and amazing yet semi-repetitive soundtrack is the wonderful sum of its design. Without getting too deep into the main story, you play as a cowboy without a name. Your brother and mother get murdered by ranch arsonists. You flee to your uncle's house, who briefs you on some things and some world locations, and then you're free to go pretty much wherever you want to go. Westerado is actually a clever little open-world game. The world is both massive and small, both detailed and sparse on detail where important. There are barrels you can shoot that leak out liquid, and there are bottles you can practice your aim on. I killed a dog out in the wild, and vultures came to eat the carcass. There's enough going on here that you don't feel like the environment is lazy or quickly put together. There's a clear thought in the design of every screen you enter. Gameplay is very tight yet simple. You can only aim left and right, and this decision appears painful at first until you realize that everyone also has this limitation. In a very intelligent choice by the developer, you can cancel your aiming pose by running, and by maneuvering up and down you can needle your way through the gunfights and place shots in your enemies' chests and hats. Gunplay is also very nice, despite on its face being very simple. In order to actually fire a shot, you must first ready your pistol, cock it, and then fire. This gives combat a bit of a rhythm, which makes it both a skill challenge of lining up shots and keeping pace with the shootout as you ready your gun, cock, fire, and reload repeatedly throughout the course of the game. There are 6 weapons total in the game, but this is one of those instances where the starting weapon may just take you all the way through the game thanks to being the most versatile. Personally, I didn't really see much advantage to the shotgun, the rifle, or the dual pistols, but the bullets made a nice addition for when I didn't trust my aim for hat shots. Suffice to say, combat is actually really nice and enjoyable. Enemies die pretty quickly, and if you've got decent aim, you can shoot their hats off to refill your health, which is represented by hats. There's a bunch of hat-based innuendos in this game, but I won't spoil them here. I will say, though, your enjoyment for this game will probably vary on how much you enjoy the dialogue, which I do encourage you to read, since there's some really good writing in here that helps set the mood for what you're playing. The general mood of this game is very tongue-in-cheek, with a slight, ever-so-faint air of seriousness. It's like someone wanted to make a parody of a serious western, but also wanted to make a serious version of Blazing Saddles. But then they saw Blazing Saddles, and wanted to just make a game set in the West without too many complications and a couple dozen jabs at the genre. This said, I highly recommend you doing the Indian side quest in the game and tell the army to stick it, but I also recommend playing through this game again and choosing differently on all social forks you find. There's a lot of love put into these quest lines, and because of this, the game allows you to break these quest lines pretty easily without feeling like it's glitched out or something. Unlike a certain set of open-world RPGs, this game is a wonderful experiment in killable important NPCs, or rather, the ability to kill NPCs of great importance to the story, along with all the other ones that you interact with. The choice, and rather serious option, to point your weapon at any and every single NPC in this game leads to interesting story moments, funny gags, and I would argue really solidifies this as a spaghetti western game. The game knows that, upon realizing an intense hatred for a character, you may choose the constantly dangling option of pointing your weapon at them to demonstrate your frustration. Sometimes this leads to new dialogue options, and sometimes just do it because you want an easy shot. I know I shot the oil tycoon the first chance I got, but you might choose to avoid killing us freely, and the game seems to realize this as well. Overall, Westerado is a really solid little game. The graphics are pixelated, but there isn't a sense of laziness in design. The gameplay is simple, but you constantly feel that the game was intentionally designed around its own gameplay. The story isn't anything new or hyper-unique, but the dialogue and writing elevates a simple indie game into something just a bit more. The game is tight, well-designed, and very polished. I would recommend Westerado if you like what you see here, but also if you just enjoy a good western. The game is relatively cheap too and tends to go on sale, so if you want a cheap little game to enjoy, Westerado Double Barreled just might be for you. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll be around making these for the rest of 2019. I hope you pop back in next time.